founded in March 2004. We are headquartered in Brussels, Belgium, and we have got own operations in two countries, namely Atlanta in the US and Budapest, Hungary. Since the end of 2014, we are part of a larger organization, Movilitas, which has approximately 200 collaborators, including the Produmex company, and which is headquartered in Mannheim for the EMEA region, and in Columbia, Maryland for the Americas regions. Now, Movilitas offers solutions based on the SAP ECC business suite, and is active in practically the same areas as Produmex, where Produmex is a SAP Business One practice within the group. So our solutions are all based on the SAP Business One platform. And through the fact that we are a part of Peak Risex, of Movilitas, we are also a sister company of Peak Risex, which is a hardware and technology supplier for supply chain operations, which means they offer printing solutions, RF systems. They offer also a service and site surveys for hardware and technology. And Peak Risex has more than 550 collaborators in North America and the UK. Okay, next. Now, the Produmex capabilities is first and foremost the fact that we're 100% focused on SAP Business One, and that we are specialized in shop floor to top floor integration. And in that context, we have executed specialized add-on development for SAP Business One, which consists of our PDMX suite for SAP Business One, and since November 2015 we're also the exclusive distributor for BX software for SAP Business One. In that capacity, we are a global SAP software solution provider and also a SPAC member. So we are part of the SAP Product Advisory Council, which advises SAP on new evolutions regarding the SAP Business One platform. We're also a SAP Business One value-added reseller in Belgium and Luxembourg. And currently we have more than 300 installations in 30 countries on all continents of the Produmex and BX software products. And we work together with approximately 40 SAP Business One partners worldwide. Now, what is our strategy as a company? Say we want to become a market leader in supply chain management for SAP Business One, and that means that we have decided to extend our solution portfolio. And in that context, a major move was the integration of BX with our Produmex software suite. We did this because Produmex and BX software are both dedicated to SAP Business One add-on development. The product lines that we bring to market are very complementary in the area of manufacturing and logistics. Both product lines are globally present, and we want to exploit synergies in the area of distribution, support, and development of these solutions. Both product lines are also in line with the SAP strategy in the area of HANA and cloud enablement. The BX products that were involved in the transaction of becoming of integration with Produmex are listed here. Say it's practically all products, but there is one exception, namely the former Variatech project management solution is not included in the offering of in the integrated offering of Produmex today. I also want to show you our organization chart to make clear to you that we will indeed integrate the teams. So the BX software development and the Produmex development will be integrated. They will be managed by the Produmex CTO, Martin de Korsten. And it is the intention that the development teams in Budapest, so the Produmex development team in Budapest and the BX development team in Budapest, merge to the same office. Also, the PDMX and BX support will be integrated, and all this will come under the management of Joris van Ongevallen, who will manage our product management division. Now, this slide gives you an idea of the production product positioning in the area of production and logistics of our solutions. With the PDMX suite, we offer an advanced warehouse management solution that is really at the forefront of functionality in the area of warehouse management. And on the other hand, with the BX Core, MTO, Mobile PDC and Mobile QC offerings, we have an advanced offering in the area of production. These two advanced functional areas are complemented by entry-level solutions that we offer on the one hand in the area of production with the PDMX production functions, and on the other hand with the BX Mobile Warehouse 9, which is an entry-level solution for warehouse management. So with this offering we can address, say, as well small and simple production and warehouse management requirements, as well as very advanced requirements. In this next slide, you see the positioning of the solution. So you see that we offer entry-level and advanced production and logistics solutions, and we do that for a number of micro verticals, which includes on the one hand consumer goods, where we have an offering for serialized item management, the food and beverage industries, where we have an offering for butchering and dairy processing and bottlers, in the wholesale and distribution area, where we have a solution for the agriculture, produce and food segment, and for consumer durables, in life sciences, where we focus on contract manufacturing and packaging. We have also a specific offering for third-party logistics providers, and with the BX manufacturing solution we have an advanced solution for discrete manufacturing. This slide shows you the fact that we are really a global player through the integration of BX software and the Prodomex product lines. We have a strong installed base in Europe. You see here the repartition, a strong installed base in the Germany, Austria, Swiss area, in Benelux and the UK and Ireland. Also an important installed base in USA and Canada, and Eastern Europe and Russia. So you see the repetition. There are some areas in which we are not yet that, where we don't have that many implementation yet, but we are truly global at this moment. Now, just as an end to my introduction, what do we want to be the key takeaways from this webinar for you? We want you to remember that BX software is now an integral part of the Prodomex offering. We want to ensure you that there is a guaranteed continuity of the BX product line, and that the BX manufacturing solution is an easy to use, versatile, full-fledged and fully integrated manufacturing add-on for SAP Business One. BX software has a strong global installed base and is supported now by a leading SSP partner as Prodomex. And with the BX Next Gen that we will introduce in this session, you will learn more about the basis for a new modular add-on approach for SAP Business One 9.2 and forward releases that we will bring to market. So far for my introduction. I would now like to hand over to my colleague Miklos Nemet in our Budapest office. So I will now make him presenter. So Miklos, please unmute yourself. I will make you presenter now. Okay, and please take over.
Okay, hold on for a second. Good morning for the audience. Good morning for the Europeans, and good afternoon possibly for Australian and Pacific Ocean partners. I've seen a couple of names definitely from that region we were working with. And it's a pleasure to have the chance to give you a presentation. Can you hear me, Luke? So is that okay? And can you see my screen?
Yes, Miklos, everything is fine. We can see your screen all right and we can hear you all right. So please continue.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. So, Luke, thank you for your takeover. What is practically our message with this session? And as just Luke explained, that the BX manufacturing is, in our understanding and our experience, this was we meant to be an easy to use, but still versatile. So this is what Luke just described as an advanced a manufacturing solution. We regard it as a full-fledged because we cover the whole life cycle of every aspect of the manufacturing business. Of course, not everywhere and every manufacturing process is best where our solution fits. It covers the whole life cycle. And then we have built a respectable, as Luke just explained, a customer base. And then I think even with the new versions of SAP Business One, our solution is completely applicable and implementable and could provide millions and myriads of excellent functionality that are important. So my presentation main goal is to explain to you the key features, the key functionality that makes BX manufacturing appealing to the customers and to the partners to do the effort to sell and support our solutions. And since we have, as Luke just explained, and it's very important, this actually gives really the importance of this and the timing of this presentation. Why is it now? Because 9.2 platform is out from SAP, and this we regard as a new platform for manufacturing, maybe for the rest of the world, the rest of the customers. 9.2 Business One 9.2 is not that important, but from production as well as production manufacturing point of perspective, this is a significant improvement from the previous versions. Therefore, this presentation gives us an opportunity to show you that this is practically the first time in our company life to give you an idea publicly, an idea where we are heading with functionality, with our approach, with our product line, BX manufacturing. So this presentation, I'm focusing only on BX manufacturing. Maybe on our next presentation, next webinar, we are talking about the integration with the Warehouse 9 solution. Anyhow, before going into the details of the top main features, let me point out one of the most important functionality. This set of slides actually has been compiled by my friend and colleague in the Americas division, Roger Davis, and he is a brilliant presenter. So if you have the chance for the afternoon session, I mean Paris time afternoon session, you can watch him giving an excellent show, let me call it a show, about these slides. But I'm not that brilliant in performance skills, but anyhow, I do my best to explain some of the most important points about these slides. And this, what we call multidimensional constraint, it is terribly important for manufacturing, and this is practically a key and possibly the top most important concept in our product solution. Meaning that in SAP Business One, you have material constraints, no problem. In 9.1 version, SAP introduced resources, the concept of resources. That may have capacities, but even today, SAP doesn't provide these as really a constraint, because SAP doesn't provide a capacity-based scheduler nor MRP at the moment, and this is where our solution excels. Therefore, material constraints and capacity constraints will be taken into consideration in our scheduler and MRP solution. So all these multidimensional constraints are revolving around a kind of sophisticated automated resource scheduler. Terribly important that our solution is easy to use, and the reason I call it versatile, because its main component is in our opinion, a configurable, quite sophisticated automated resource scheduler, and it is also used by the MRP, and which takes the available resource capacities into consideration. And this is practically in the next gen will be combined with the 9.2 resource platform to combine this 9.2 flexibility, production modules flexibility, with the BX scheduling skills. We are, expert. We call them ourselves an experts and experienced enough to know what we are talking about when having MRPs and resources. These slides, this example, very small explanation, are practically from a existing implementation which were made up in Canada, and then it was made for a company who produced high-strength steel parts for bulldozers, excavators, machines like this one, where this high durability and sturdiness of some parts was really required. And this is a steel, processing business. They have expensive, sophisticated, even more sophisticated and terribly sophisticated, very expensive machines. We call them technically work centers that are used for the operations from the material steel plates, and then some of these machines have the capacity, the capability to do, for example, plasma, dry cutting, oxy cutting. This machine also dry cutting and wet cutting, and then this more expensive one is also oxy dry, and also were able to drilling. And then this way, from parts, these are the parts manufactured from the raw materials. This part, practically the machines, the operations, are practically scheduled, can be used. Our solution our solution was used to schedule all this operation over to these available resources machines, and the machines with multiple capabilities. This is where comes the term multi-dimensional constraints. Therefore, here is the three pillars of our solution. We have operations. You will see in my later presentation what it means. Operations that are practically done by the workers. And we have also the machines, the actual resources, piece by piece. And then in between, we have a plumbing, which we call feature. Actually, this is a type of work. And this is a terribly important concept in our design architecture, because this combines the operation to the resources, and our optimizing, very important concept, optimizing scheduler as well as MRP, because MRP uses our optimizing scheduler, is using this feature concept to schedule the operation over to the resources. Here is an example, for example, the work centers for cutting. Therefore, at this company, practically this is an existing implementation design document. The work centers, they had a number of work centers. Some, as I just explained to you, some, or these all had the option to be able to cut, to do the cutting. Cutting is just a simple thing, but it could be in a millions of ways, and at least a number of ways, sorry to be too exaggerating. And then our solution during that implementation was the plumbing, these were the work centers available, the operation, and all these features that were required. Cutting was one part, that one operation, maybe from here, which was able to be done on multiple different kinds of work centers. Typical here is an example. These are the operations for cutting a shape like this one, and these other tools, and then drilling some holes here and there. And these are the practical work centers here that all were capable. They all are capable to do the cuttings. And then, of course, we have the drilling operation. And then our scheduler, automated scheduler, automatically or semi-automatically, I will explain to what we mean automatic and semi-automatic, we had the company to have the engineers in the company to save their valuable time from daunting manual scheduling of the operation over to machines and work centers, and this whole daunting and repetitive and boring jobs can be done based on the automated scheduler. And this was practically a very important concept in our solution, simple but very powerful as it is. Now, after pointing out the most important, one of the most important, in our opinion, most important functionality of our solution, just let me browse through the 10 top features of our BX manufacturing functional-wise that makes it really applicable for a number of manufacturing organizations. First and foremost, maybe this is not really that functionality, that a very important concept that all we introduced the concept of operation, and then features, as I just explained, and work centers is into SAP Business One practically many years ago. And the way we did it, rather than build a parallel system outside of SAP, we went to the road of using fully the SAP Business One extension functionality facilities, user-defined fields, user tables, formatted searches, and the complete SDK, UI and DI API. So whatever you have from our solution, BX solution, BX product line, all are fully integrated with Business One and 100% implemented with SAP Business One SDK. Therefore, and we also follow the idea that operations were included directly into the bill of materials. These are standard SAP Business One documents. And then these operations at that time were practically non-inventory items, because that was at that time only available. You see, we also support a different kind of outsourcing operations as well as supplier materials. So we have a number of extensions here. When the user wanted to give some additional parameterization, and that's very important part, these are the parameters practically used by the automated scheduler. Immediately, let me pinpoint and point out that our favorite customers, how to say, the perfect customer for our solution, are really seeking for some amount of automated scheduling, because this is where we are really excel. We have setup times, job times. You know, setup times is independent of the planned quantities. The job time is practically proportional. The total time you see here is proportional to the planned quantity as well as the job time, and so on and so forth. We have a myriads of other parameters. And this production order operation, again, this is a standard SAP Business One form, extendable by third-party companies. Boyum Customizer or any add-on practically is compatible that is using the SDK standard functionality. And this is where this, the user can define practically this operation, which feature it wants. For example, this one is a quality inspection operation requiring some resources, specific resources from the QA department. So this was the first main idea, fully integration directly with SAP Business One components. And the second one, again, is that we are using in our MRP, I just explained to you that very important that we practically build a own MRP logic which practically simulates, works very similar way. I would say in exactly the same way as an SAP Business One MRP, but our solution takes the available resource capacities into consideration. Just as a side note, maybe later I just mention it, we also support unlimited capacity resources too. Therefore, this special situation can be also handled in our case when a customer is not really interested in a minute level, because our schedule is a minute, precision is a minute. So every operation is scheduled on a minute base, not hours, not days, but minute base. But when you use the unlimited resources, then in that case you have the option that you are more interested in having a functionality to show how much resources are required for that operation, rather than to get a specific resource schedule for these operations. So back to the MRP, we have here, this is the standard SAP MRP wizard, and the most important checkbox on one of the slides is where the user can enable or disable the BX MRP, and the BX MRP practically does exactly the same as the SAP Business One. I guess you are completely familiar what this screen means. It calculates the order recommendation exactly the same as in SAP Business One, but again, remember that these schedules, the due dates when they are scheduled and the begin dates are always scheduled against the available resource capacities. And then, of course, all this multidimensional planning, which I just explained to you, is taken into consideration. When we have all these plumbing and scaffolding, therefore, at the end, one of the important part, when we have all the schedules, we want to, our user want to have a visual representation of the schedules. We have here on the left-hand side the machines, the work centers. Remember that in our concept, the work center is a terminus technicus rather than just a direct. Why we don't call it a machine? Because here in this sample you can see that the quality assurance team is practically a group of people, and that group of people has some capacity, and maybe it could be an unlimited capacity resource, and therefore a machine and a group of people, one person, could be regarded as a work center. We support a single level MRP and scheduling when our customer uses only work centers, but in this example you can say that we support multiple levels of scheduling and resource management too. For example, for this operation, these are the operation, these are the green boxes are the free capacities of these work centers. Here's actually the timeline, and these boxes are the operations. This one, because this is a red in a rectangle, these are the release production orders. Remember again that on the first slide I explained that every component, every concept, wherever we have an SAP Business One object entity, we are using and maximum we are exploiting, extending that object. Because SAP has a production order, we are using practically the same production order, and therefore we support release production orders, planned production orders, and I will explain to you even a MRP production order recommendation. These yellow rectangles are recommendation, but I will tell you about that a bit later. So we have here are the operations, release and planned production order operations scheduled here, and this for example, this operation not only requires a workbench from this level, it also requires some tools and some people to be available, both for setup, both for the job. So we also support our solution, we also support a multi-level scheduling and resource management. We have a, when I mentioned that the fully automated scheduling and MRP, this is what the main gist, main functionality of our solution, but we also support semi or manual, fully manual scheduling. It meaning that, for example, let's take this as an example. This is a chain of operations, you know, for a specific production order, operation here, and then another operation, this blue sequence of operation. This operation had these pins, red pins, meaning that the user practically, the engineer or the workshop manager, pinned these operations into this workbench for this time. Therefore, our system in a semi-automated scheduling way respects that this operation is pinned in space and time to this point, but the rest of the operations are automatically scheduled according to this pinning. So you can also do this in the middle. Say you have a 5 steps, 5 operation in a sequence, and you just pin the third operation, the system automatically schedules the rest of the operation that are not pinned. This is what we call semi-automated. And in a fully automated way, you have the option to pin all the operations in a chain of operations for a production order to a specific time and for a specific workbench. This way we just go back to a non-scheduling, non-automated scheduling scenario. And this is what I just explained to you on my previous screen, that we support multi-levels resource management, machines, employees and tools. Very important that in our solution we have a practically 24-hour life cycle of our resources. So in our system, a resource is a specific entity which has only the maximum 24 hours of capacity. So if you need more resources, because this is the way we are simulating the real life entities, real life object. All our users can understand, fully understand, yes, when I have a machine, a person, a day, during the day, it has only 24 hours of capacity. if we want to have a more abstract way of approach, of course, we have the option to use either more resources than required, or unlimited resources are also supported. Because of this, because our resources support multiple features, multiple type of works in our optimizing scheduler, this is a very important to take into consideration. And you will see this is a fundamental element of our optimizing scheduler. And I explained to you a number of times. And we have also a multiple workshop or company calendars. In an extreme situation, each resource, each machine, each person can have its own calendar, but multiple resources can share the same calendar, or in another extreme, when we just define one company calendar and each of the resources are using. So our solution is quite flexible in calendar handling. Again, this is a visual explanation how this chain of production order, operations, features and resources are linked together. We have operations in the production order. Have a look here. This is a symbol, a nice icon where a fabricated, unfabricated component is used. Therefore, it has a different icon. And we have, and this is a simple example, only 2 operations. When you open the operation details screen, you have here the indication that this operation, bike assembly, requires a work center that requires a certain type of capabilities. You can, of course, make it mandatory, or just pick one of the specific work center to make it preferred, and the automated scheduler tries to schedule according to this preferred. This is what we also can see, that semi-automated or semi-automated scheduling, when you are just working with defining preferred work centers. You see also on this screen you can define, say, multiple types of worker, drillers, master tuners are required for this operation, and even a drill for this bike assembly, and from the tools section, tool resources. When you have all these features, then practically you have the actual work centers. For example, this bike assembly or assembly, you have 4 work centers. Actually, these are the machines. In our case, workbenches are available in our system. When you open a specific work center, you can see this is workbench 3. It has a specific shift plan. It may belong to a specific SAP Business One profit center. It may have costs. I will explain to you that cost amounts. The cost calculation is also an integral part of our system. And very importantly, this workbench is not only capable, is available for operations for assembly, where assembly is defined, but also available for tube machinery, and it may have millions of other features. And this is very often when this workbench is what we call a skill matrix. Just imagine if this is a person, a work center could be a person, a group of person, then you can regard this as a skill matrix for that person. A terribly important ideas here are the speed factors. Officially, they are timescale for setup. So even though these 4 machines are capable all for operations of assembly requiring some assembly, but they are not really equal as for speed and efficiency. Therefore, the engineers and the workshop officers has the option to change. For example, if this machine is faster in assembly, you may change it to 1.2, meaning that the time scale is much faster, 20% faster than the rest. Than the average. 1 is the average within this. Within this group. And that's very important because the speed factor is practically used in our optimizing scheduler when multiple machines are available. For our system is optimizing for speed, and then speed factors are used when it has an option to pick multiple machines. It picks always the fastest machines based on the speed factor.
Okay, Miklos, we should respect timing, so can I ask you please to speed up a bit and not go into detail too much? Thank you.
Okay, you are very welcome. Thank you very much for the warning. So the rest are just quite straightforward. So when you have all this plumbing, we have a mobile terminal to capture the operation hours from the workers in the workshop, and as well as the materials. So issue for production transactions are fully supported on our mobile terminals directly in the workshops. We have, as I just explained to you, the cost controlling part. Directly linked, this is more like a cost schema-based cost controlling system. In an Excel-like way, we have a full-fledged system to calculating the cost, and these costs are integrated with bill of materials as well as production orders. And these costs can be calculated for different levels. Even for the sales department can use this cost calculation to estimate the possible costs of a specific product, and then also the production department, when all the materials and work hours has been reported, the actual cost calculation can be done with this cost controlling module, a very sophisticated, important part of our manufacturing solution. We have also a simple quality control customizable data capture. The quality control parameters can be defined for operation. Very important, this is not a full-fledged quality control and quality assurance system. It's however, what it does is a brilliantly integrated way to capture the most important, most crucial raw rudimentary data for quality control, and here you have the option for qualifying operations and the performance of the workers, either to collecting the elementary measurements. The smell test, typically one was that okay, smell good, yes, it smelled good, and then have the option to qualify good, rejected, and repairable. We also support make to order. In previous screens, I explained to you that our MRP is fully takes resources into consideration, and the MRP in general is a balancing scheduler, and therefore it doesn't create practically specific production orders or purchase order for a specific machines, but all are combined eventually. When you have millions of sales orders and millions of other requirements, all are merged together. But when you don't want this to be done, we have a direct support for make to order, where you can right click on a specific a sales order or a quotation, and then just ask the system to generate the chain of production orders as well as the purchase order and link directly to this sales order like a miniature project. And the whole life cycle is manageable, and very importantly, it also compatible with the generic MRP. So these two can be combined together and used together, make to order as well as the generic company-wise MRP. We support also simple outsourcing. Outsourcing in our sense, because these operations in our system are non-inventory items, practically services from the perspective of purchase orders. So our integration means that outsourced operations are integrated directly with the purchasing department, the purchase orders, where we are, you see, we are outsourcing, for example, the tube machinery in square meters, this service to an outsourced partner. So this integration is also expected from our system, and the scheduler also takes into consideration the durations of these outsource operations. And as the last of our 10 key points of customization and extensibility is terribly important, as I explained in our upfront, that all our solution, all our objects are implemented with 100% fully with the user-defined fields, user queries, and this machinery. We have also a test engine. Maybe it's not that important for you, the partners, that whenever we have thousands of automated test scripts, therefore when we release our products, the test scripts are run for hours, for days before releasing our products. And we also have a VX Business Designer also available for our products, which is practically a C# Visual Basic .NET runtime and integrated development scripting environment within SAP Business One. This is practically an add-on, and we have a number of implementations. That's very important, that this is typically used for implementation where they require some specific complex business logic, especially when you have an implementation where you want a DI API invocation. We highly recommend to use and regard Business Designer as a very easy to use a solution rather than building a separate add-on. This is a very nice integrated development environment for SAP Business One. And we also have a number of mobile tools, and all these extension capabilities and customization technologies are available also for our mobile solution. We have this mobile PDC I have shown to you. We have also Warehouse 9 and Mobile Worker. I'm going to explain to you that these are our flagship mobile solution, and all are based on the same mobile technology. We prefer native compiled mobile application rather than web-based. They are not web-based application. They are typical server-based, service-oriented application with native apps on the mobile devices. But still we support customization on our mobile devices. All screens are extensible and customizable with fields, something similar as in user-defined fields, and as well as user queries. And now I'm coming over to the next gen. So these were the available function set, an established and proven set of functions that we are delivering today, and how we are migrating over to the next platforms. So BX Next Gen is practically a transition, an approach of transition of our BX manufacturing solution over to SAP 9.2 version. And then this is the main component, the BX Manufacturing Next Gen. This is the name, practically a new product. From functionality, it's exactly the same as today's version, but it is based on the resource framework, the new extensive and flexible 9.2 version of SAP Business One. We have a number of mobile application, Mobile Worker, and Mobile Simple Quality Control. And then we are planning to do some MRP extension available to Promise, and I'm going to explain to you with a couple of words what do they mean. Again, in this version, Manufacturing Next Gen for Business One 9.2 is today's manufacturing with a number of extensions, of course, because we have a roadmap with new features. But the main idea here is that all operations are not based anymore on non-inventory items rather than SAP resources. And that gives us much more flexibility. Therefore, we are going to have a manual issue method for operation. Therefore, work hours reported via our mobile PDC terminals will be issued for resource transaction. Therefore, the production orders will have much more accurate, up-to-date, actual cost values for operations, work hours done than today it is. And then again, a very important one, because operation therefore are manual issuable. During the life cycle, where production order, let's say, is the duration is about a week or longer, then we have the option to modify, add new operation, even after one product has been received from production. Today, a severe limitation when the first product is received from production, no new operation, because operations are backflush today. But when you have manual issued production order operation, this flexible life cycle management for operations are supported. Very importantly, that because the functionality is more or less the same, practically exactly the same as today, but the platform is different, that we are creating a next-gen migrator tool for our existing customers. Practically what it does, that we migrate the database on the database level, the operations of current users from inventory, non-inventory items over to these resources. So expect a fully automated one-button press migrator from current existing loyal users to migrate over to this next-gen solution. We have here a rough time scale when these products are available, practically pretty soon. Mobile worker and these other mobile solutions are practically available in a couple of months, and then by the end of the summer, you may expect the new version of manufacturing next gen. And we are also planning to have MRP, significant MRP extension available to Promise. And importantly, you may ask where we are heading to. Practically, these are our real target, to make our solution, BX manufacturing solution, applicable for BX project manufacturing solution. And that was the reason we are focusing on 9.2, because SAP provides quite rudimentary but terribly important framework for project handling, and it's a perfect environment, scaffolding or framework to support project manufacturing, and as well as engineer to order type of businesses. And all are based on SAP Business One 9.2. So this is our key interest. A couple of words about our mobile worker. Our mobile worker practically is available today. I mean, in a couple of weeks practically. The programming has been done, and we are in the testing and pilot phase. And what it does, that it works against the SAP 9.1 and 9.2 versions, directly against production orders and resources, and where you can define tasks for a production order. And these tasks these are standard business one tasks. Can be allocated, assigned to workers, employees in your system. That employee can, on the mobile device, can have a look of what tasks and jobs are assigned to him or her, and then pick one of them. And then on the next step, when this guy is completed his job or her job, she or he can enter the work hours and the material quantities he used or she used during that operation. And when the data entry part is done, and our application practically performs the issue resource as well as the material against the production orders. And then, of course, the task in the SAP Business One activity, the task activity, is also marked completed. Quite straightforward, but terribly powerful and useful. So just keep in mind that this mobile worker revolves around the production orders and resources and materials. This is the mobile worker. And we have a very similar functionality, the mobile QC2. Very important new approach is that we support quality control data for each inventory transaction in SAP Business One. Therefore, it's more flexible than today, where we support only production orders. And then we support also generic data capture, photos, geolocation, signatures, document attachment. So to me, Mobile Simple QC in the next gen is more like a generic data capture, mobile data capture system for inventory as well as production transactions. And we are planning a number of MRP extension. MRP is our main know-how. That's where we have enormous experience, let me say so. And what we want to make an MRP which is customizable. This is our main goal. We had already a number of projects where our customers wanted to customizable MRP, and we delivered excellent solutions, but in the next version we want to support more direct customization, customizability policies with user queries as well as HANA procedures. Fortunately, we have HANA available from SAP, and a procedure, it's a powerful database system, procedural database system, and perfectly fine to implement complex customization solution. And one of the examples that cost with this customization, custom optimization can be implemented for cost, speed, emission, manpower optimization according to the requirements of that customer. This is one of the options. Another important that we are heavily supporting chain production orders. Even today they are supported, but we are heading towards project manufacturing, where these constraints between the operations are extended significantly, and fully or semi-automated rescheduling is going to be supported for these chains of production and purchase orders. And we are also going to support forward scheduling during MRP. This might be very important for some of our customers, some of our partners too. And the peak of our, in my opinion, of every manufacturing system to provide a lightning fast resource scheduling MRP with single button click from sales, quotation, orders, cost calculation. Practically, this is what our dream to achieve. Actually, we are not that far from achieving this one, but we have a number of things. We have practically all the components in our system. We have cost calculation modules and automated resource scheduler, forward resource scheduler, but with this one, and our MRP is very fast. Honestly, much faster, 4 times faster than SAP Business One standard MRP. And with this available promise, we want to give more direct support for the sales departments or the quotation people to have a tool to, especially when we have HANA implementation, so forward and backward scheduling direction on scale. So the typically for available to promise is forward scheduling. The manufacturing cost calculation scheme was applied as a calculation, for calculating prices and costs. And of course, when some offer quotation is want to be released, we have the option in that just to press a button, and the whole chain of production orders are released. Therefore, all the capacities are hardly reserved for that. For the chain of production orders and quotations. Practically, I tried to do my best to speed up the whole of my presentation. It's 9 o'clock on my time, so we have reached the 60 minutes limit of our people's audience attention, and that was my part, and we are open to the question and answer session. Thank you, Luke, for the option to give me the chance to talk about this product line.
Okay, Thank you very much, Mickey. I will unmute everyone so that if you wish, you can ask a question. I have received one question already from Blue Key, which I think has been answered by Mickey when he presented the next gen. So the question was, will this integrate in some way to SAP resources, referring to the resource allocation of machinery? Mickey, I think that you can confirm this. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes, let me just explain to you, give me some of the, possibly you guys, many of you are more or less familiar with the SAP Business Fund resources because it's available since 9.1. The reason we delayed our support, direct support, we wanted to see what SAP is coming up in 9.2. Practically, this was a kind of business decision, and now we are fully aware what SAP is heading towards and what we can expect, and now we feel this is the time, the perfect time to jump over to these resources. And just remember, in our introductory section, I explained that this multi-level of this optimizing feature, operation feature, and work centers, this is practically not available, not even in SAP resources. And then this feature concept, we are going to build on the resources. So we are going to extend the resource functionality rather than fully just support as they are.
Okay, thank you, Miklos. Any other question someone may want to raise?
Yep. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Lawrence, please go ahead.
Du, dann kann ich dich wieder zurückrufen, ja? Okay, ja. Bis dann. Okay, ciao, ciao.
Okay, so that was not a question, I reckon. So is there any other question that someone may want to raise?
I read the session, so the question was, are we planning to have a more sophisticated, more extended feature functionality in the graphical scheduler? Yes, we do. Practically, we can have actually a session, a series of webinars following this one, because we regard this as quite successful, especially the afternoon session is fully packed with a number of people, and this one is also crowded. And then we are planning more webinars, more specific to some points. And then we have in our pipeline, practically our programmers are working significantly extending the graphical designer with drag and drop functionality, supporting multiple options of displaying the flow, the chains, and so on and so forth. Yes, we are very actively working of extending that graphical scheduler. We call it job control panel.
Okay, thank you, Miklos. Any further questions, please? Okay, so then I reckon that so the fact is we will make available this recording of this session to you. You have our contact details, and I will confirm them in the mail that I sent to you. So if you have any further questions in the course of today or the next days, please get in touch with us, and we will be happy to answer all questions. Thank you very much. I wish those of you in the European time zone a nice continuation of the day. I wish the people in the Australian and Asia Pacific zone a nice evening, and I hope to welcome you soon again in another webinar. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.